Chapter 1. The apocalypse approaches my Doomsday Base Vehicle late September. The scorching, relentless summer had finally come to an end, ushering in the arrival of autumn. But in Los Angeles, the weather had yet to show any real sign of cooling. Daytime temperatures still soared above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, yet when night fell, the air plummeted into a biting chill, making people shiver uncontrollably. Complaints about the erratic climate were everywhere. Inside a modest rental apartment in the city's southern district, the hum of an air conditioner filled the room. The apartment itself was tiny, barely 150 square feet worth of living space, and bed were combined into one, with a small kitchen and bathroom on the opposite side. Though compact, it was impeccably tidy. The occupant, a lean young man named James Carter, sat on the lower bunk of a double-decker bed, his eyes fixed intently on the television in front of him. The screen flickered with the midday news from the National Broadcast Network. A week ago, James had never used the TV for anything other than watching football games. But now, not only was he watching the news, he was anxiously tracking the time. At precisely 12 hours 45 minutes and 51 seconds p.m., the national news would announce something of great significance. And now for international news. A global scientific research team has just held a press conference revealing a startling discovery. In the permafrost of Siberia's far east, scientists have unearthed a prehistoric supervirus. This massive virus is now the fourth such megavirus ever discovered by humanity. Scientists previously found another similar specimen in the same region, but only recently have they completed their studies and made the results public. While researchers continue to analyze the virus, there is currently no confirmation on whether it is capable of infecting humans or animals. Experts assure the public that as long as the permafrost remains intact, there is no need to fear any potential threat. There it is. James sprang to his feet. He checked his phone. 12:45 p.m., down to the second. The prediction had come true. Again. This was the third time. He wasn't just watching the news. He had already known about it beforehand. Even the exact time of its public revelation right now, since the press conference was live. There was no way for this information to have been leaked in advance. Even journalists had only learned about the conference a day earlier. Yet James had known, and not just about the story. Over the past week, he had foreseen multiple major international incidents before they happened. It wasn't some newfound ability to predict the future. Instead, a week ago, a foreign presence had appeared in his mind, something he could only describe as a starseed. Along with this starseed came an influx of knowledge, including classified information about world events yet to unfold. Most importantly, it told him of an imminent apocalypse, a viral outbreak, a global catastrophe. Earlier reports had hinted at it. World leaders absent from crucial events, sudden cancellations of international summits, top-secret evacuations. The public remained blissfully unaware, going about their daily lives, oblivious to the fact that some of the world's most powerful figures were already disappearing from sight. This news broadcast was nothing more than a parting courtesy, a final whisper to the masses before the end began. In precisely 10 days, at 2 p.m., the world would fall into chaos. People watching the news, scrolling through social media, or casually forwarding the headlines would have no idea they were counting down to their own doom. James considered posting a warning online, but he knew better. The internet had been flooded with doomsday prophecies ever since the Mayan calendar fiasco. Countless books, movies, and conspiracies had numbed the public to any real danger. Even if he posted a detailed warning, at best, people would laugh. At worst, it would be flagged and removed for spreading misinformation. And if anyone in power noticed the accuracy of his claims, he might attract the kind of attention that would make surviving the apocalypse the least of his worries. Even he had struggled to believe it at first. Everything around him still felt so normal. How could he possibly accept that the world would soon be overrun by a lethal virus? But now, there was no more doubt. He had a week, 7 days to prepare. Preparation begins. James wasted no time. He ordered vast quantities of essential supplies online: rice, flour, oil, high-energy compressed food, clean water, medical kits, and emergency rations. He ensured everything could be delivered within the next couple of days, minimizing his need to go outside. Beyond the basics, he also purchased durable clothing, tactical boots, disposable undergarments, and even a combat knife from a local vendor just in case. Weeks ago, he had compiled a survival checklist for fun, inspired by various online apocalypse theories. At the time, it had seemed like a joke, something that only over-imaginative survivalists would entertain. But now, that list became his lifeline. With his stockpile almost complete, the next step was crucial. The Starseed's true power wasn't just its knowledge. It granted him the ability to upgrade and modify machinery. But he needed a suitable base, a vehicle. James dismissed regular cars immediately. Sedans were too fragile. SUVs were better, but their storage was too limited. If he could have any vehicle, he wanted something massive like an extended freight truck, a beast of the road. But finding one in time was impossible. His best alternatives were either a cargo truck or a minibus. After much deliberation, he chose the minibus for its superior interior space. There was just one problem: money. Even a used minibus cost tens of thousands. After his massive supply purchases, his bank account was down to its last few $100s. Selling a house wasn't an option. His family home had been sold years ago after his parents passed away, leaving him and his sister to fend for themselves. That money had supported them up until now, but in one afternoon, it was nearly gone. The only way forward was to rent a vehicle. Even then, a minibus rental cost over $100 per day. 10 days would amount to nearly $1,500. Not to mention the additional materials he needed for modifications. James let out a deep sigh. Money was now his biggest obstacle. With the apocalypse only a week away, he had no time for part-time jobs or loans. He had to think fast. Grabbing his phone, he opened his chat app and messaged his doormate, Lucas Johnson. "Lucas, you there?" A reply popped up almost instantly. "Bro, did you see my new status?" James glanced at his profile. Next to Lucas' name was the status iPhone 7 online. The iPhone 7 had just been released, and it was outrageously expensive. Lucas had not only managed to get one, but had paid an extra premium to jump the waiting list. He was flaunting it. "That phone costs at least $800, James commented, suppressing a bitter smile. "PFFT, I paid an extra $200 to get mine first," Lucas boasted. James' fingers tightened around his phone. "Hey, can you lend me the $100? You still owe me that amount." "Ah, no worries. I'll pay you back soon. Got a hot date next Tuesday, though. Priorities." Bro, James' heart sank. Tuesday, the day the world would end. "Never mind," he muttered. He had to find another way. The clock was ticking.